Let's just start here today. Hello and welcome to another Solana tutorial. Today we're gonna do a short video on Metaplex fee collection, but there's not gonna be a discussion on whether that's a good idea, blah 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 whatsoever. This is an analysis on the technical implementation of how they do it because I like it. It's done pretty neatly from a technical standpoint. I mean, I'm giving Metaplex a lot of shit about stuff, but this is pretty well implemented. And this is not a discussion on whether Metaplex should have fees, because my honest opinion here is actually long term, I don't see how the Metaplex standard is going to be the Solana NFT standard. I think we're going to see a shift to Token 2022 native metadata, and that's going to be sufficient for most projects, and others might use other standards. I just don't think that this 4 or 5 account stuff is actually going to be used. Or let's put it like that, I don't think PNFTs are going to be used. Maybe we stay with the Metaplex standard, but then Metaplex would need to adopt the Token 2022 standard and allow for custom transfer hooks and stuff. Transfer hooks are just so much more powerful than PNFTs. Anyway, that's the intro of what this video is not about. What this video is about is forensics. We're gonna look a lot at transactions and try to understand what's happening here on chain. Because that's also a valuable skill to have, reading explorers. And also analyzing how other protocols do stuff, especially the ones that are like well known and well implemented. If you analyze how they do stuff, then you can learn for how you should be doing stuff. So today we analyze how Metaplex is collecting the NFT creation fees. Let's go. It all started with somebody asking me on my Discord, hey, what is this transaction? Can you explain to me this metadata program transaction? And this transaction looks like this. What can we see here? There is one signer. Do we know something about that guy? Seems to be a regular wallet address owned by the system program. And what's happening here is that a lot of accounts have minus 0.01 25 accounts, and then one account has plus 0.25. So what's happening here is that all of those accounts get drained for 0.01 sol, and all of that sol gets put on one account that holds, well, quite a lot of sol. 28k is not nothing. And we also see that the program doing this is the Token Metadata Program with an unknown instruction. And basically we provide all of the accounts, and the first one is the signer and second one is the account that receives everything. And then the rest is just accounts that are drained for 0.1 sol. And instruction data 36 is probably just the instruction discriminator. So what's happening here? This account is probably also just a system account, or even one owned by a program. Let's see. This one is also just a system account with 30k sol. And that is probably the treasury wallet of Metaplex, where the fees are collected to. And all of those things, what are those? The other accounts. Dear student, make an educated guess. Which account has 0.005 sol and is owned by the Token Metadata Program? Yep, owned by the Token Metadata Program, 0.056 sol. This is of course a metadata account. But then the question is, why do we drain metadata accounts for 0.01 sol? And this is the point where I would again let you think. If you're seeing this and have all that context that I just gave you, why do you think Metaplex does it like this? And why can they do it like this? Or maybe should we first analyze some more? Let's analyze some more. So this account here, what we see here is the post balance. So that's after the 0.01 was removed, which means the balance before was higher. Like here, that transaction. This was probably the mint, which created the metadata account, and it created it with 0.0156, even though the data is just 679. And if we have a quick rent check for 679, that will tell us that we need 0.0056 sol. So that's what we see here, 0.00056. So that's what we need for rent exemption. And then additionally to rent exemption, we also put 0.01 sol onto that account at the point of minting the NFT. Why do we do that? Well, such that later we can drain all of those accounts and remove that sol again. And this is the process of collecting fees. That's how Metaplex does it. Let's check protocol fees. There. Create. Token metadata. 0.01 is the amount in fees. The minter for most NFTs created on Solana are individual collectors. Creators that mint many NFTs may consider using compression for radically lower mint costs. They even say, use compression because otherwise we charge you a lot of fees. That's funny. Includes our instructions that create an NFT. So also for additions. Right, so when we create a new NFT with the Metaplex standard, like the regular NFTs, not compressed, then they charge us 0.01 sol. And weirdly enough, they put that 0.01 sol on the token metadata account such that they then can retrieve it in bulk. And now my question to you is, why would they do it like that? Why so complicated? If you want to have it on that address, why not send it there directly? I mean, okay, yes, you would need to put one more account in here and it's already like 20 in this case, but we could deal with another account. After all, we have so many already, right? Doesn't really matter, right? Metaplex. So we could afford to put another account here. This is not the reason why they do it like that. So what is the reason? Because the downside is they now have to manually create those transactions. Let's see if that guy always does that. So let's check a few transactions of this guy. Yep, they all look similar. It's all this guy and always this address where they put the funds on. Always looks like this. So essentially they have to run a crank that gets their fees into the treasury wallet. Why doing it so complicated? Because they'll need to monitor all the metadata accounts and then call this instruction manually. Why would they go through the effort of doing it like that? Did you think of the solution yet? Do you at least have an idea? Put it in the comments just to check on yourself. You don't even need to send that comment, but type it down. What do you think? Why? Such that you can later check on yourself if you're actually correct. And if you don't know why, that's also fine, right? We're here to learn something. So now I'm gonna tell you why I think, because I mean, I can also not be sure. There's also just my assumptions, but knowing what I know about Solana, I think I know why they do it like that. And in fact, before we actually look at that, maybe they did it differently before, and maybe we can find proof of that as well. How could we do that? So essentially what I'm saying is all new NFT mints, when they are minted, they put additional 0.01 sol onto the metadata account such that that can be retrieved as fees. That's for stuff minted, you know, today. But can I find something that was minted a longer time ago? When did Metaplex introduce fees? Around May 24th, because the 22nd they had a different idea and then they changed it to this because so many people complained, including myself. I mean, fees on update, that's just... Anyway, so can I find myself an NFT that was minted in May? How would I find something like that? I would like to have a transaction from the Token Metadata Program from a given time. But there are so many transactions on this one that I don't think I could, you know, get there. Do I know of any collections that minted at around this time? I'm not that deep in the Solana ecosystem, but I'm sure there are some. 8 months ago was this block. It's a block in slot, so and so. Okay, can I now filter for Token Metadata Program? But it failed, damn it. Okay, let's go a few blocks higher then. I mean, this is not efficient as well. How do I find what I'm looking for? Must be a better way to search for this. Is there an explorer where I can search for specific transactions from a long time ago? This still feels like doesn't exist. Wait, but maybe I can search for epoch. So searching by epochs, maybe that helps. 450. That was May. Getting there. 469. That's a few days later, about 40 days actually. So we're end of June. I mean, can search here, but then we have to check blocks again. We don't see all of the transactions. We have to go through blocks. Probably the first few blocks are like empty anyway. Token program, token program, token program. Maybe we're lucky and we find a mint. This could be, I think this is one, but there we already do it like that. There we already do the 0.01. Okay, so end of June, we already do it like that. This is actually not really relevant what I'm doing here. I'm just having fun. Am I having fun? Well, partly. Just playing around because I can. 55, 4 days back. So that's now end of May. So that's the epoch, there, 26, when it was pretty new. Let's check the last one and go from there. The problem with this kind of history is it's not usually served. So it's like, takes a long time to load, or it's not even loadable at all. And are we lucky? Token Metadata Program, there are 4. I'm just opening a bunch of... No, I'm not having too many tabs. So, is this a mint? Doesn't look like it. I mean, I'm just wasting time searching for something that maybe doesn't even exist. I wish there was a better way to filter this. Wait, I created NFTs even. I remember that I got a bit annoyed that I had to pay this fee. Collection? Can you give me like... I want to see the collection NFT. Collection key. That's what I need. So, because this is an NFT I created to represent that collection. Ooh, cool. Somebody's actually still using that. 9 days ago, somebody minted one of the NFTs. But to get to the mint transaction, I would also now go like very far down, if I can even get there. Too many were minted. This is not sustainable either. Ha! Better ideas? Can I sort the history in the other way? Wait, Solana FM. I want to sort in the other way around. Can I do that? So we've got a bunch of unknown and we've got 3 sol transfers. Oh, look, there are more pages all of a sudden. And all of a sudden it's 250. Because you're not loading all of them. Oh, 275. Yeah, so dealing with old data on Solana where there's so much data is really difficult. This is not a simple thing to do. Getting to the first one is just not a trivial task. But didn't SolScan display the mint transaction once? Which account is only in the mint and never in anything else? The metadata account, because that's not updated when we transfer stuff, right? What's the metadata account for this one? You show me the metadata, but you don't show me the metadata account. Oh, this is so annoying. Do I need to manually derive it? I mean, I can, but why do I need to do that? Can't the Explorer tell that to me? You have the metadata here. Can you tell me from which account you got that, such that I don't need to manually derive that, please? Or maybe the token account. Yeah, that's better. Look, via the token account, I can get there. So this is where the token account is created, and that's in the same transaction as where I minted, probably. But that was May 16th, so that was too early even. We didn't even have fees then. Shit, yeah, I remember my minting script, it did that in several steps and not all in one. Damn, so close though. Okay, I just minted one, and then the metadata thing is one step further still. I have the approximate slot now though, and I could go find my mint in the next slots. But that's 400 milliseconds and confirmation times is 30 seconds, so it would be a long time finding it. Oh man. The easier way is to derive my metadata account. Okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. This is not where I wanted to go, but this is where we're going. Public key. Create program address sync. Metadata. Best docs ever. Metadata, token metadata program ID plus mint. So this plus the metadata program ID to buffer plus the mint. And then we derive it with the metadata program. Cool. And that should give me a public key, the metadata PDA. Okay, let's go. Getting impatient. Get me that PDA. Invalid seeds. Address must fall off the curve. Oh, I'm using the wrong address. Find. Not get. Find. And then we also get the bump, which we don't need. Okay, let's go. There we go. So that seems to be the metadata account. Yep, belongs to the token metadata. And here we hopefully... No, this is also in all of the transactions. Come on. Metadata account, all... Yes, of course it needs to be because the collection is in there. Oh, I really don't like the Metaplex standard. There's too many accounts. Oh, and I have the same problem of I can't get to the first transaction for this. Yep, finding a transaction just via Explorer is actually super difficult. But Sol transfer, aha, see, oh, Sol scan. You stay my favorite or second favorite. This is it now. This is where I transferred, create metadata. Yeah, found it. Took a while, but now I found it. Check this out. Now I'll go to my real favorite again. Yeah, that's it. Oh, thank you. That took forever, but we found it. Look, this is the actual mint where I create the token metadata account with 005 in the good old days where you weren't charged fees because it was before May 24th. Nice. Okay, cool. So that's that. I do have other collections, but where do I find them? Looks the same, but that was for something else. And that has fewer transactions though. In fact, it has so few that I might even find the first one because I never used that one. That was on May 23rd. Ha ha ha! That's a good time. That's a very good time. That was the create token account. Oh yeah, that's the mint. Hold on. But then the next one, that's where I actually create the metadata. Yes. But I still didn't pay fees on that day. Shit. It is still too early. I didn't pay any fees for that. Do you hold any other collection tokens? Solandy contact. That's another. Let's check that. For that collection, this is the metadata PDA. We search for the metadata PDA here. Then we go Sol transfers. Okay, yeah. But here it was also done like that. So I have no proof that it was ever done differently than this, is what we found out in the last hour. So yeah, we didn't get any smarter, except we learned that it's really not easy to find the information that you want to have with those explorers because Solana just has too many transactions and it's just really difficult to index them. I mean, that's terabytes and terabytes of data. So yeah, I don't blame the explorers. I'm just saying this is difficult to work with. So back to our original question of why the hell does Metaplex do it like that? Did you by now find an answer? No? I'll give you mine. Think about what would happen if we would use this address in every mint. So let's check, for instance, in here, this account, when it was minted, when we put all the Sol on those accounts, including the metadata account. If there was another account in here, the treasury of Metaplex, where we send 0.01 Sol to. I mean, for one, yes, we have one additional account, but that's not the real problem. The problem comes in if that one additional account is writable, which it needs to be if we update the amount of lamperts in it, and is the same account as in a bunch of other transactions as well. Then it's problematic. Why is it problematic? Well, because we create a bottleneck. And we learned that in the Sol Dev course at advanced stuff, program architecture, I think. Yeah, dealing with concurrency. I'll put a link to the video where we went through this here, well, up there, where we discussed this in detail, why that's problematic if we have the same account for several transactions. And those create NFT transactions, well, I don't know how many there are at the same time, but there can be potentially quite a few. And if they have the exact same state that they want to write to, that's problematic for parallelization. They can have the same accounts like the token program, system program, token metadata program. If they reference those, that's fine because they are not writable. But as soon as you have writable accounts, then you try to make sure that they're not the same writable accounts as a bunch of other transactions want to use. And in this case, we make sure of that because that's all our PDAs that we're deriving based on our mint. Those accounts are not used in any other create NFT transactions. But if we were to use one static treasury account, then yes, it would be the same. And then if we have a mint of 10k NFTs and everybody wants to mint at the same time, then we run into problems. Granted, if you do it with a candy machine that has the same candy machine ID, then you're still having that kind of a bottleneck. but at least it's just on the Candy machine and not on all Solana NFTs or Metaplex NFTs. So that's why doing it like this, with adding it on the metadata account, and it's completely irrelevant on which account I add it. I could also add it to the edition account. Nope, that's the token account. That's the mint. That's the token account. That's the metadata account. So that's the edition account then. Yeah. I could also add it to the edition account. It just needs to be one of the accounts that the metadata program owns, such that the metadata program can then retrieve that again. Because if I put it on the token account or the token mint, then it's essentially lost. Well, on the token account, I could get it back by closing the token account, but Metaplex doesn't have the authority over that token account. They do have the authority over the metadata account and the edition account. And if it's a PNFT, about a few more. So they chose the metadata account. I mean, makes the most sense, although really it kind of is irrelevant. Important is that it's one of their accounts, such that then later they can go ahead and remove all of those fees from those accounts and add them to their treasury wallet. This is what's happening here, and this is why we see transactions like that. So thank you for showing that to me or pointing that out, such that I had to look at that and analyze it myself. And I wanted to share the findings with you because I think that's quite a nice thing to know about, how Metaplex designed it, such that you, if you design something similar, know how it's done properly. Yes, and with that I want to finish today's video because I want to join the Monkey DAO town hall. I hope you learned something again. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy those shorter videos where I just tell you something that I came across. If you did like it, make sure that you also like on YouTube. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, please do so. Check out other videos, and then I'll see you in one of my upcoming ones. Till then, bye bye. Now if you excuse me, I'm late to the town hall. Woo!